Right, next hike, we're parked here. Looks safe enough. I maybe could have parked there. There was a car there though, he just left. We just went up some cool switchbacky road. Look at the view of the city. According to All Trails, the pu'u Konahuanui Ridge Trail, which goes up to K1 and K2, which are big boy peaks. This should be fun. I'm hoping this isn't too messy. The weather was great for my first hike today, and I'm hopeful it's gonna be good for this one, but I'm imagining with the technicality up high, this is gonna be a good 3.5 to 4 hour hike. Luckily, it's not even 11 a.m. K1 and K2. Not the K2 I wanna be on top of, but I'll take it. I have been on top of a K2 on the Capitol Peak Ridge. So this, if things go well, this will be my second K2 summit. So this so far, very pleasant the first half mile, 3/4 of a mile or so. All right, so at least it's starting to go up now. We passed the Manoa Cliffs Trail Junction, went straight. This is more direct, but they go the same place. So next junction, just right a couple tenths of a mile later, we're gonna bang a left on the Pu'u Flats Trail. The other trail at Manoa Cliffs would have connected right here, so it's actually pretty small. The other thing I'm thinking is, based on what I've seen from some of the maps, the elevation profiles are off. So lots of junctions. Apparently there's a waterfall that way. It seems like it's actually not that far, maybe 0.6, 0.7 miles away. Oh, that says 1.45 miles. All right, maybe that's round trip. We're staying on the Pu'u Flats Trail. Yeah, and then eventually we'll meet up with another. There's a lot of trail junctions, so as long as you have the map. All right, so we made it to what says the end of the trail. So I'm going up to those big boys. There's one trail that stays on the side of the hill, and there's one that kind of follows more the ridge proper. So I'm not sure which one I want. We'll decide when it splits. There's a junction somewhere up there. End of maintained trail. I guess it's maintained to right here, which is cool, but it's not here. Okay, so FYI, here is your junction. You can either take the trail that zigzags on the side, or you can take the more direct, which means it's a much steeper way on the ridge. I am gonna take the ridge and just go straight up it. So this could get really messy. We already have a strap, so that's a good sign. Oh, all right. Headed straight up the ridge. This is gonna be super steep, I think. This is very steep as expected, but it's not that muddy. It's getting a little muddier. You don't even have views because you're just going up this steep vegetated chute. So the rope's nice to take some weight off my legs here, but I wouldn't say it's needed. It would be super slick if it was muddy. But you have plants and roots to grab onto. Yeah, so I like gaining all this vert super quickly. All right, up that rope section. Climbing a long way more. All right, we've temporarily kind of flattened out, still just in the brush, in a brushy chute. It looks like we're at least getting to a higher or flatter part of the ridge. Like, no way your summit's gonna be way beyond there. but it's gonna flatten just like all these other ridges. And all right, approaching our next bump. So we're gonna have to go straight up this a good 200 feet and first drop a little bit. It should be, it's very vegetated, but I'm not getting too frustrated by it, luckily. I feel like I'm a rodent going through a vegetated maze. It is so narrow. There we go. Now the view of the big boys. Unfortunately, this ridge route does not come without its disadvantage. We shorten the distance, but we have a steep drop now. The other trail joins up on the ridge somewhere lower. So we're gonna have some extra vert. Or if we go back this way, maybe I'll go back the other way. But this hasn't been too bad, other than just being super narrow and overgrown. Yeah. So yeah, this is just watch your footing, don't fall off I mean, some of these, if you stepped off, you would like drop 10 feet or something into a chasm. So I guess just watch your footing, but otherwise, just following this very, very narrow, primitive ridge trail. Kind of messy, not gonna lie. Going through, like, you can barely see your feet and the vegetation trips you. We have a monster ascent coming up that ridge into the clouds. This is so hard to walk through. I think you're starting to, I don't know, I was gonna say that, but I'm guessing it's probably higher up. I don't know, maybe that's one of them, the other one's in the clouds, but it looks like it's higher beyond. So, I don't think this one revealing itself is one of your summits, but then again, the ridge is leading right up to it. So unsure. We're getting close to the point where the other trail, which I think I'm gonna take back, considering how messy this was, meets this one. I wanna make sure I find that point. It'd be so easy to miss a use trail splitting off to the side somewhere. All right, we're meeting up with the other trail, and it's not going to be hard to miss because I'm going to be walking right on. So I think I'm going to take that down. It's just going to avoid a bunch of bumps, and I think we'll be nicer, but you never know. Could be making it harder. So it looks like we got a little bit of flat, but then we got to start our monster ascent, and I'm hopeful it's these two peaks right here. And I just hammered up a bunch of clay steps and hit our first little bump on the ridge. There's a second, there's a third, and then maybe your summit. Just one at a time, representing progress though. So we had, unfortunately, because we did the ridge, we had to descend a bunch. But that won't be the case on the way down. All right, well, we are in one of these narrow clay mud chutes heading up to this next bump, which is fine because it's contained, but your legs and your hands for that matter just get all muddy because it's so narrow. Your shoes hit each other, it hits your other calf as you step through. But it is nice how they're like these major steps. I mean, even my shins are rubbing the mud sometimes on the steps. So anyway, hammering up this next bump. We'll be there soon. There's a rope up there. All right, starting to get a little steeper, so they give us a hand line, which, just takes some of the pressure off my legs. It's not that it's needed. Going down, it's a little more helpful as the slip potential is higher. Whew. Nice breeze. Yeah. On the wrong side of it. Let's just show you. I think we're almost on top of this bump. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we've returned. All right, summited this bump. That one's next. And then one of the big boys, I think. All right, let's worked our way up another monster mud chute. I think we're close to what I'm calling the third bump. So, is that one of your summits? Probably not, but at least it's another objective to hit. Yeah, look at the view of the city. It's not bad, right? Not bad at all. So I just checked the map. That is your first summit up there, K2, and then K1's over there, sight unseen. There's just a big drop and regain in between them. But we only got like, I don't know, 300 feet up to K2. I'm not sure which one's higher. I think whichever one's higher is the high point of this mountain range on the island. So it's cool to hit the high point of the major mountains on the island, and then I hit the high point of the island in the other. All right, and after thousands of mud steps, I think we're starting to get topped out. Man, it's just a mud step, stair stepper. All sorts of rainforest type vegetation. K2. I mean, we're right on the highest topo line. We just need to traverse that way. No views, but let's start our traverse, because this is supposed to be a pretty big drop. Let me try to look at it on the topo. Yeah, the topo, the elevation profile is wrong. It says it's like a 600 or 700 foot drop. Per the topo, it's about 200 feet. So that makes me feel a little better about it. 600-700 foot drop on a traverse is quite a lot to then regain and then gain on the way back. So yeah, this elevation, total elevation, I think is going to be off. Go figure. It's getting sloppy. Yeah, it's getting real sloppy up here, and there's minimal visibility. So anyway, I think your true summit might be right over here. I might have been on it already though. All right, so see, we only have to drop to right there. You can see it now. Shout out to the woman, by the way, who said she went to the top and it wasn't muddy. I have no idea what she was talking about. Clearly, her top was something else, I guess. But it's a mess. But you can't see the other summit. It's right over there. But I mean, this looks easy enough, in my opinion, to descend. I thought there was some like technical scrambling involved, but maybe that's a different peak. Unsure. So let's go back. K1. No summit marker, no registry, no anything. There's no registries in Hawaii, but there's not even summit markers either, which I find odd. All right, the mud is pretty brutal, but I think maybe that actual step might be the low point of our traverse, unless we drop on the other side of this bump lower. Yeah, this is just really messy. I mean, the terrain's not bad. It's just the terrain, meaning the steepness. But yeah, it's just one of these times I'm gonna go sliding off the brush, like that, into the brush and get all messed up. So it's super close, but it's just kind of a long, messy slog up high. Well, I stand corrected. The low point of this traverse is right here. We had to drop more after that last little bump. Just get me out of the mud. Yeah, man, this is messy and slow, but we're gonna do it. Just gotta go all the way up. You can't see the top, but I don't know, 250 feet up maybe to hit this other one. Now we're about to crest some bump. I don't know if it's the summit or not. This is such a mess. Every step just takes it out of you. I mean, there's something higher up, so I'm confused because I thought I read this was the highest point. There's clearly something higher there. Let me check the map. All right, so yes, I do have to go over to that one. That is your summit. I am just covered in mud. I mean, look at me. Look at me. Do we have a rope to help us here? No. We have a step though, and a tree. Oh yeah, we do have a rope. Tarzan. Just get me on top of this thing. This one's definitely higher, by the way. K1's higher. All right, without further ado, as I slip my way to the summit, I give you K1 with lots of mud. Yeah, we are on top of K1, the highest point in these mountains, and we can't see anything. Fantastic. But we did it. That traverse, so let's see. I'm under 2 hours to here, which is fine. About an hour 53. I'm gonna get super messy and muddy, but at this point, I don't really care. So K1 and K2, these mountains have officially been dominated now. Yeah. Just cut myself, ran into a stump, into my shin. So anyway, bunch of little bumps, got to get back up. It'll be 20 minutes maybe by the time I get back to K2. The clouds are trying to lift, but they're not. But K2's up there, K1's out of sight. We hit our low point, so we just got to go up these 200 feet or so. Yeah. All right, K2. Now we gotta have our steep mud step descent game on for quite a while. But then eventually it'll become nice and runnable all the way down on the maintained trail. You have no idea how many times I've slipped like that. It's like 100. That's what the terrain, that's what the footing is like up here. Just starting our descent, and you're at least getting some views down there, kind of. It's gonna be a mud stepping jamboree, but not as bad as up high. So I'll take that, especially because you're like contained, so I can use my arms on the grass. This isn't steep here. It's much steeper, obviously, in other locations. Headed back down. There's a cool little lake or reservoir or something. And our views back were off basically this summit bump. Now there'll be the next bump, which will be super steep. But I took this picture on the way up. Pretty cool view of the city. So there's kind of a technique. You can do a one-leg technique where you keep one leg high. That wasn't a good example, but I've kind of come up with a technique because your legs run into each other if you try to cross them. Like, they can't get by each other easily. So if you keep one leg out in front and one leg up on the shelf or the grass, sometimes that works the best, I found. Or just both of them up high. All right, ascending off bump 2, and I see someone else coming up at the bottom of bump 2, or crest from bump 1 to bump 2. So cool. We got someone else. It's a bro with their shirt off. I probably should have gotten shirts off for this, but up high, it's not bad. It's not sticky. Like, my shirt is, well, it's like 90% saturated. It's not 100%. That's what I'm getting at. it doesn't feel too bad. So this is a steep mud step section with a strap, which I used on the way up, but on the way down, as long as my hands have a place, which granted they're getting dirty, but that's fine. It's the life of mud stepping. Yeah, this is again this clayey, this like soft clayey rock. So we should be getting close to the point where that other trail, we're gonna take the other trail down. Let me pull this other side trail I take back, will be a little more pleasant than what I took up, and then just a lot of little ups and downs, because you had to summit all these bumps on this ridge, which I guess I'd rather not do if I don't have to. So we'll see what the low trail has in store for us. It's crazy how much different the weather is. Yeah, I think you're seeing K1 and K2 there. Or sorry, K2 and K1, with K1 definitely being higher. So I'm glad I went over there, but we're getting closer to civilization. There's that stupid little thing called Diamond Head. So we're on this side hill trail. It's pretty narrow and, you know, somewhat overgrown, but I think it's better than when I was up there. Plus we're lower, so we will have less ascent and re-descend, I'm assuming. Yeah, so this just zigs and zags all around all these bumps. So I believe that's the Poly Highway that you're seeing. There's a great view. The sky has cleared. When he gets up there, he's gonna have a much better view. Still good views of both of them. So there's all sorts of bumps that I was up and over on this ridge, and I can see the trail bending around. So I think we got one more wraparound to do. Every time I turn a nose, I'm hopeful that's it, but no, then another nose appears. All right, so don't look now, but I believe here is your junction where I went up to the ridge to go up, and I just came back down this switchback. So I would say this way is easier. It's longer, but there's less vert, and the terrain, I would say, is easier to move through quickly. So I would venture to say, even though the one was shorter distance, that way back I was probably 5 to 10 minutes quicker would be my guess. All right, we made it back to the picnic bench, and I believe we got to go down and not up, but let's. I don't think we have too much more left. Half mile maybe. Yeah, it's a nice little up at the end. Ah, we're back, baby. It's the car back. Yes, car's here. K1 and K2, it's 2:34, so that was 3 hours 42 minutes or so. Whew, it's a good one. Just real muddy up top, but otherwise not too bad. I don't know if there will be another one. I might do one more tomorrow for Hawaii, but otherwise I think I've gotten a lot done in like 4 days.